Oh, there are so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless. We have to start with the news that is shaking the entire world right now. Iran's supreme leader is dead. That's right, just hours ago, sources began confirming that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been killed following what's being described as a massive, coordinated strike by the United States and Israel. And as you can imagine, the retaliation was immediate, and it was brutal. Iran has just unleashed a firestorm going right after American interests across the region. We're getting reports of drone attacks slamming into U.S. embassies in both Riyadh and Kuwait. You can just picture it. Explosions, fires, literally lighting up the night sky. And there's a human cost to all of this. It's already tragically clear. Tonight, the Pentagon has confirmed that 6 U.S. service members have been killed as this crisis just explodes. So the big question is, how on earth did we get here? How did things go from a tense situation to an all-out conflict in just a few hours? Let's walk through the timeline because it all happened incredibly fast. Okay, so it all kicked off with this massive, coordinated wave of strikes. We're talking U.S. and Israeli forces hitting key sites all across Iran, in Tehran, Isfahan, you name it. And crucially, the supreme leader's own compound was hit, and then confirmation came through. He was dead. Now, Iran's response? It was almost instantaneous. A barrage of missiles and drones just launched toward Israel and U.S. military bases from Bahrain all the way to Qatar. And if that wasn't enough, they went for a direct attack on diplomatic soil. Drones hitting the U.S. embassies in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, triggering immediate shelter-in-place orders. Meanwhile, back in Washington, you have to understand, this wasn't some easy call. The hours leading up to these strikes were apparently filled with some incredibly intense, high-stakes debate. And it really pulls back the curtain on just how divided the nation is on how to deal with Iran. And this slide, wow, it just lays that division bare. I mean, look at this. Just 2 days ago, you had former Secretary of State John Kerry warning that doing this, bombing Iran before diplomacy had run its course, could be a disaster. But then you have another former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, saying the exact opposite. He was totally confident, stating, with our Israeli partners, we can go a long ways to taking down Iran. I mean, think about that. 2 guys who had the same exact job with completely opposite takes on what would happen. Now, here's where things get really weird. The political fallout from this isn't splitting down the usual party lines at all. It's fracturing allegiances in some really unexpected ways. I mean, get this. We're seeing some far-right figures like Nick Fuentes absolutely blasting the Trump administration for this. He even went so far as to tell his followers to, and I quote, vote Democrat to protest it. Just wild. So you can see the official lines are being drawn in the sand. President Trump is vowing to avenge the deaths of those service members. Vice President J.D. Vance is framing the goal as making sure Iran could never have a nuclear weapon. But the pushback is loud. You've got the mayor of New York City calling the strikes an illegal war. It really feels like a country at war overseas, but also at war with itself over why. Okay, so let's cut through all the geopolitics for a second. The big question for you, for all of us, is why does this matter? How does a conflict happening thousands of miles away actually affect your daily life? Well, it all comes down to something experts call a geopolitical shock. And here's what that means in plain English. Think of the Middle East as kind of like the heart of the world's energy supply. When a major conflict like this kicks off, it's like a heart attack for the system. It instantly messes with oil production, disrupts the tanker routes, and that puts a massive squeeze on the global energy supply. And when supply gets squeezed, prices everywhere go through the roof. And listen, this isn't some what-if scenario. It's not a possibility. It is happening as we speak. Right now, because of these attacks, global energy prices are already surging. And what's scary is that analysts are saying this is probably just the beginning. And this chart right here, this shows you exactly what I'm talking about. This is the immediate hit to your wallet. Just look at the average price for a gallon of gas last week, and now look at it today. That huge jump isn't a guess, it's not a projection, it's real, and it happened almost overnight. You're already feeling the economic pain of this conflict every single time you pull up to the pump. And if you're holding out hope that this is all going to blow over quickly, well, the White House is signaling the exact opposite. An Associated Press report says officials are telling them that these attacks on Iran are going to last for weeks and that they're going to intensify. So let's be clear. This was not a one-and-done strike. This is the start of a sustained military campaign. So that brings us to the biggest question of all. the one we have to grapple with right now. The White House is telling us to brace for a conflict that could last for weeks, with costs that are totally unknown, both in American lives and in our wallets. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what should America's next move be? I really want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments.